I rise in support of the gentlelady from West Virginia's amendment. I've lived in the world of real bankruptcy, of real risk. I know the difference between money that you get in trust and money that is invested, either by stockholders or by vendors. I think one of the challenges we have here today is we're continually muddying what is a bank and what is an investment institution, a financial institution. After all, in the years that I visited Chrysler factories around the country, actually around the world, I never saw them as a bank, not once. In the years that I was a vendor to General Motors and their quality control people came in to inspect me, I never once had a banking conversation with a General Motors inspector. They wanted to know about product. That was their business. They never offered to finance me as they took 60 to 90 days to pay. The fact is, we have muddied the difference. The FDIC exists for a good reason. Confidence by depositors who are totally passive trust members of the bank. They provide their money as depositors, not as stockholders. We, if we go forward without Ms. Capito's amendment, are simply creating a situation in where little by little the bankruptcy law is whittled down into who gets government money available, because ultimately the fund is not limited to the fund they build up. We're finding that in the Gulf Coast as we speak. The fund is not limited to the fund you build up. It's a full faith of the American people fund if necessary. So I would ask all of you to relook at this. And if you cannot accept the amendment as it is, strongly consider what's wrong with it. It only serves to say there are entities that go into bankruptcy and there are entities the FDIC handles and handles well. The FDIC has a charge, and the member institutions understand their charge is to protect the depositors, not the stockholder, not the creditors, not the guy that does the windows, not the landlord, not any of those people. And yet, for hundreds of years, almost 200 years, we have had a bankruptcy court system, a separate bankruptcy court system. We have modernized it. We have dealt with it. Even the chairman has for a long time looked at bankruptcy law. If we need to go strictly into bankruptcy law and allow bankruptcy law to reach across into some way related to systemic risk of institutions which are not properly registered FDIC members, I welcome that. I welcome that as a member of judiciary in addition to the role I'm here for today. But please understand, the Republicans want to preserve the FDIC for depositors. Without this, you are simply creating systemic risk companies that don't have FDI-insured depositors, and yet they're being treated that way. And as so many people before me who serve on the Financial Services Committee articulated other differences, you are mixing apples and oranges. So I strongly suggest that you reconsider your potential opposition to Ms. Capito, accept the amendment. If further refinement is needed either here or over in judiciary, we certainly can expand bankruptcy law and modernize it to allow for funds, but not to strip away ordinary bankruptcy protection, which Mr. Smith has already spoken on, is critical. Financial services was never intended to preempt the history of successful bankruptcies. And I say successful bankruptcy because they provide the maximum protection to the creditors while giving the stockholders an opportunity not to be wiped out. And for every one of us who has invested in stock or who has a pension plan that invests in stock, we're not creditors. We want stockholders to be given consideration in order, but consideration. So I would ask you to reconsider the gentlelady's amendment meant to do just that and yield back.